Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For approval of today's agenda, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Approval of the agenda has passed. Next is the approval of minutes for November 18th, 2023 regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Motion has been approved for the minutes for the November 18th. At this point in time, what I would like to have done is the recognition of the Stephen Decatur High School football team for what they have done this year. Winning their first ever state championship. So at this particular time, we'd like to bring you guys forward to read a proclamation, and directors like you to come in front. This is accommodation. Whereas Stephen Decatur High School football team has exhibited unparalleled dedication, resilience, and exceptional sportsmanship throughout the season. And whereas the relentless pursuit of excellence and unwavering team spirit led to an extraordinary victory, clinching the first ever state championship. And whereas the perseverance, talent, and outstanding leadership displayed by each member of the team, coaching staff, and those who support them have brought immense pride and honor to the Stephen Decatur High School, the community of Ocean Pines, and the triumph stands as a testament to the power of teamwork, determination, and commitment to achieving greatness both on and off the field. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Association Board of Directors that commend and celebrate the remarkable achievement of Stephen Decatur High School football team for an historic win of the state championship. We extend our heartfelt congratulations to the players, the coaching staff, the families, the supporters who dedicated the unwavering support contributed to this remarkable success. Executed under the seal of Ocean Pines Association on the 16th day of December 2023. And with that, congratulations, team. Coach. There you go. Woo!
It's been an honor, this group, and I know we have a pretty few guys missing at wrestling tournaments and basketball and everything, but the undefeated season is great. But their resilience, especially showed in the last two games. 365 days ago, before we played them second time in the state semifinals, we lost to Milford Mill, and we had to lead with 42 seconds left. Okay, and that I think told us a lot about ourselves. We took what we learned about ourselves and what we need to do, and then we approached it for the next 365 days to make those improvements. And then we found ourselves, right? We found ourselves behind after having an early lead. And these guys stuck together, they fought it out, and they ended up defeating the defending state champion Milford Mill. And that victory right there just says so much about the group of guys and their commitment to each other, their passion and love for each other. It's been a pleasure to coach all of them. And then, with the state championship win, again, had our share of, calls didn't go our way, but, these guys never wavered. They stuck together. And so You know, they're true champions. After we won the state championship, we all met. We talked about what it means to be a true champion, because we love that you guys recognize us and we feel like we're up on a pedestal, but we want to be humble in these moments and be thankful and be grateful. And then we want to conduct ourselves so that we continue to, you know, honor you and the community. And we don't want to get too full of ourselves. Say very, very humble, and you know, we've already started testing, and we're going to start our training here in January. Good news is we want to make sure that every one of these guys got a state championship ring and raise that money. And we're getting hats and we're getting all those things, and we just appreciate all of your support. Everybody who's donated, it's been amazing, and you know, now we're going to try to go back to back.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's great. They should have done the stride.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
President's comments. First, I want to thank John Vial and his team, thank the committees and their commitment for Ocean Pines and making Ocean Pines a better place to live. This year, the board has enjoyed working collectively, as I've mentioned before, together with the GM and his team will continue to do so and to continue to make Ocean Pines a great place to live. The board, on behalf of the board, we want to wish everybody a safe and prosperous holiday season and ensure that they take care of their families and friends. With that, Chief, you have anything to say from public service? Sure.
Morning, Mr. President, and the Board of Directors. First, I want to thank Board of Directors, Mr. John Viola and his staff, and the entire community as a whole for just how welcoming everybody's been to me. I've been here about 4.5 months, and I can't imagine a better community to be the police chief in right now. As we approach the holiday season, I just want to remind everybody to be safe. The Ocean Pines Police Department will be there for you when you need us. But please think before you get behind the wheel. Don't get behind the wheel if you have too much to drink. There's no excuse in this year, 2023. Ubers are very easy to get. Having designated drivers. Also, don't text when you're behind the wheel. Don't drive distracted. And let's get there safe and remind you also have your fellow residents to watch out for when you're driving on the streets. So have a happy holiday season and thank you.
Great. Thanks, Chief. Just a few reminders today at 11 o'clock at the Yacht Club, Operation Silver Helping Hand for Worcester Gold, sponsored by the Yacht Club and Get Involved Group. We'll be wrapping gift boxes for the seniors who are living in low-income circumstances in our community that will unfortunately be alone with their families without their families this Christmas. And any need of assistance, please come by and join. Take about an hour of your time for this worthy cause. And at 5 p.m. today, the Yacht Club, Ocean Pines, it's a reminder that we celebrate the life of Josh Alton, who sadly passed away last year at the age of 17, right before his favorite holiday, which is Christmas. Josh's family are Ocean Pines residents. With that, DJ Donnie will be there to bring holiday cheer, Christmas carols, refreshments, and Santa will be arriving at 5:15 via OPA fire truck. This event will be outside under the Christmas tree. Collections of donations and toys will support our local shelter, Deaconia. Personal items such as soaps and deodorants, toothpaste, toothbrushes, towels, washcloths will be generously accepted. These events and is organized by Colby Phillips and sponsored by the Ocean Pines Volunteer Fire Department, the Get Involved Group, and Ocean Pines Yacht Club. And also today at Santa will be coming to Ocean Pines this evening at 6:30, and we'll be riding along Ocean Parkway from the North Gate to the south gate. This is sponsored by the Ocean Pines Volunteer Fire Department. That, John, for a jam report.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Okay, we start off here, a couple of pictures, obviously with the holiday season, we've gotten a lot of feedback on all the holiday decorations. Thank you to the team and everybody. Turn the page. Yeah, start off with the initiatives as every month. The initiatives are in addition to what the team does on the day-to-day operation. We certainly have several today that we're coming forward to with the board, hopefully for approval. I'm going to start off with the irrigation system. The irrigation system at the golf course is probably over 50 years old, 30 to 50 years old. There is some information out there that we redid or put in a second system years ago. That was just some adding of sprinklers, and Justin will talk more about that on the outside for the rough that we didn't have. But the system is basically antiquated. We are coming forward today looking for approval to start replacing it. We will start with the first phase, pump station fairways 1 and 9 plus the range. We'll be signing a contract in the next couple of months, assuming that we get approval today. Justin's here. Yeah. Appreciate that Justin comes in. Anytime there is a request for capital, if anybody has any questions for Justin, he is here, or he'll take them now, he said. Good. Third page. Yeah, electronic signs. We heard a lot about electronic signs. We've certainly heard about them for like 15 years. Well, it's going to happen hopefully with approval today. That picture there, I can tell you, doesn't do justice. There was a demonstration at the administration building the other day. It was pretty impressive. So we will be coming forward today for approval for one sign at the Northgate Bridge. And if we get approval today, it'll take about 6-8 weeks lead time to get it and then install it. Turn the page. So banners, if you've come in and you saw on the Northgate Bridge, we put banners out there for the holiday season. We have got a lot of positive feedback on it, as I mentioned already. With that, so along with the seasonal garden that we put out there, that every season we put different flowers or shrubs or whatever, now we're going to put new banners for each quarter or each season. So I have asked, and Nancy, I see Nancy here, she's done a great job capturing the vision that I had. So along with other just general type of banners, we want to highlight all our great amenities. And you can see the pictures that she's put together. I think she did a great job. So you will be seeing them going forward. Turn the page. Thank you, Nancy and Josh. Okay, so here's another sketch. Here's another racket sports. I've spoken about this probably over the last couple of years, as well as each month this year. We will be doing renovation replacement there, assuming I get approval to go forward today. The biggest request that we've received from the advisory committees are bathrooms, increase the restrooms, same game plan as the clubhouse here. It's basically going to be the same, all enhanced, as well as the pro shop, the pros office, and some storage on the inside. I'm excited about it. I have a team in place to do it. It's a hybrid between our team as well as 2 outside contractors who I look at as part of the team. You've heard me talk about that all the time. Here's a sketch. If anybody has any questions afterwards, I'll be glad to answer them, as well as info@oceanpines.org. Hopefully this will start sometime in January, February, at least with the permitting. Turn the page. Tiki bar. We have a tiki bar at the yacht club. It's a very popular place. With that said, it needs enhancement. It needs replacement to fully be able to reach out to the customers so that we can fulfill the customer requirements. And right now it doesn't. So this is, we're working in conjunction with Matt Rod. I have Vista on this to make sure that everything's done properly. And this again would be a combination of our public works team as well as an outside contractor that we've been utilizing over the years. Page. Veterans Memorial for Veterans Foundation has come forward, and the compliments to Rick and everybody on the board. They've given me the permission to go forward to work with an outside contractor, as well as, and I do want to mention all these sketches. Frank Brown, he always answers the call. He's a resident of Ocean Pines, as you know. He has always answered the call for me with assistance with sketches, which has helped us with the contractors, with the engineers, with the architects, and definitely has saved us money as far as changes or whatever that, because it minimizes it. So you can see the price tag. It's something that would be very similar to what we have at White Horse Park. And the Veterans Memorial Foundation will be contributing half of it. So right now, the estimate's $100,000, $50,000, and I believe the board will approve a match. This will be this will be owned and will be on the balance sheet of the Ocean Pines Association, as well as everything else there. Turn the page. Walking trails. All right, so the walking trails, as you can see on the left there, we have Public Works out there. I did go with Patty Stevens, there was a few other people from committees, work groups. I had Novi Violante out there with me. We immediately got on it. There were areas that needed to be mulched. There were routes that we did remove. We were putting signs out there. I want to mention Chief, who is our safety individual. He is working with us. He is designing on how we will do the roadways. You'll see the crosswalks as well as signs. So thank you, Chief. Thank you, everybody on that. Again, we just keep spreading out and we're addressing and renovating and maintenance everything. Turn the page. Budget. This is it. This is the part. This is the best part for me. The part I like a lot. And it's very important. It is budget. It is budget. And I just want to assure everybody, we do bottom up, which is in our scrolls that we have to do, and every department head works on it. But I also do bottoms down, east, west, west, east, which is important from an analysis side. So we do have it. We're just finishing up, putting a lot of the paperwork together. As committed, it will be, the binders will be available for the BNF and the board before the holidays, which has been consistent with the 5 years that, or the last 5 years. We will continue the robust bulkhead drainage, road programs, address infrastructure, which is well overdue, specifically the irrigation system, and we'll start now, obviously getting the contracts and everything in place so we can start in the 24-25 season. Just want to point out, I always talk about headwinds. We do have statutory wage increases, 401k police enhanced program approved by the board this year, and we will continue to go forward with that and to budget for it, which will make us comparable as we can be with the LEOPS and the programs that the municipalities have. As well as medical costs, liability insurance goes up, and I'm sure if you have your own business or anything, or even personal, but we have that all built in there. Look, the budget, we don't just budget for this year. We do look forward. I have this whole team engaged to look forward over the next 2, 3, 4 years, and we have a plan in place. So I think everybody will be pretty good with it once we issue it. Front page.
Hey, John, quick
Yep,
question.
sure.
On the bulkhead drainage and roads, that continues to be in line with the strategic plan that's in
Correct.
place, right?
Absolutely.
How long?
Right, and we update the strategic plan. Linda's in charge of that, but correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that one will be the same. Okay, Beach Club, I'm going, Linda, who's in charge of the Beach Club right now. I'm going to hand off to Linda. There are a couple of things that I know the board asked me to look at, and Linda's working on that with the team.
Okay, after discussion with the board president, we researched some ideas. IT was, strategic in this. They received bids for door controls, card readers, intercom, and cameras, and there are pictures down below. We're going to be going with Verkada products, and the installation price is $5,430.
I also want to just point out, Keith and the IT team and us having in place a very strong IT team and the support that they've given us for these type of projects, and I do appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else does.
Trash RFP, we're going forward today with request approved for a trash recycling contract. We did receive 3 bids. All 3 bids include options for yearly seasonal pickups. They are gonna also provide a special leaf pickup as well. And this will be inclusive contract, so they will be the only contractor allowed in Ocean Pines.
How many events, the special leaf pickup that they're gonna do?
5.
So in addition to picking up the 4 bags, which they do now, and all the services will be the same, you'll see a different approach. You'll see mechanical arm. They also have come forward. We've emphasized, Linda and myself, we have emphasized to them the leaf situation here. There'll be, I believe it's 5 or 6 of what they call events that they have added in that they didn't have before, where over a 2-day period each time, and it's 2 days because that's what it takes them to cover Ocean Pines, they will address the leaves. So that's an enhanced service on the leaves. So we've emphasized it. Hopefully we have it. I see, and not surprised. Steve.
The service that'll be provided, are they leaving bags for people to use? Are they coming to vacuum them up, or what is it that they'd be doing?
Yeah, so look, this is new. They themselves, what they're saying to us, we did ask that, I don't think they're gonna be leaving bags or anything like that, but they are saying that they'll pick up, and they're actually working on that as we speak. But it'll be enhanced, they'll pick up all your stuff. So in addition to when they normally pick it up, you're gonna have these 5 or 6 other times that they will specifically pick up leaves. And they're not telling me it has to be 4 bags, it could be whatever. So more to come on that. Does that answer your question? And no,
Well, I mean,
granular specific.
What telling me, we don't know what it is these special events will be. That's what you're.
No, well, it depends on how granular you want me to get. They're gonna come 5 or 6 additional times just to pick up leaves.
Right, okay.
So if I have a house and I have, obviously the park picks up their own leaves, but if I put out there 10 bags, and again, he hasn't gotten that granular, they're telling me they're gonna pick up leaves,
Okay.
extensively.
What I have seen over the last 2 weeks or so, various homes have moved leaves from their property right to the roadside.
Yeah, let's talk about
They're
that.
they're not bagged, they're there
Right.
as if, waiting to be vacuumed up.
Right.
And so my question is,
Right.
are the contractors or whoever we use talking about vacuuming them up?
Okay.
Or are they just talking about collecting more bags than they normally do?
Right. No, you know what, I'm glad, Steve, I'm actually glad you asked that question. I should have addressed it. So what you're asking me is this. We have a policy, let's use the word policy, and we're telling everybody, which would be as me as a homeowner, you rake up your leaves in your ditch, then you're supposed to bag it, right? You bag it and then we're gonna pick them up. So what they're saying is we pick up the 4 each time we come. Now, these 5 or 6 other times, if you put more stuff out there, they haven't told me that they're gonna go with a suction, and I doubt that's gonna happen.
That's right.
But what you're asking me is, hey, if we don't follow the general rules, will you take care of it for it? That's pretty much what you're asking me, right?
Well, I'm not asking you.
Yeah, well,
that.
this example,
I'm
not
saying
you,
that
but the
this is
example you're giving.
What I've seen is people are leaving
Right, I
leaves
know,
on the
So we're
roadside
addressing
after they clean their
Right.
lawn. That's all I'm asking.
So I doubt highly it's that. What we've been doing is we've been telling the people, please bag them and we'll be glad to pick them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right? No, it's a good question, need to be answered, asked. Okay.
Holiday, again, the holiday decorations, Public Works did an excellent job putting all the holiday decorations up this year. We have 7 trees total, additional lighting, wreaths and flags put on street light poles, and 25,000 lights. And they're the banners that John referenced earlier.
Love the banners.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got some
I'm
great,
excited.
we've got some great feedback from association members regarding the increase of holiday decorations and the beautification. So just want to pass that on to you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, CPI violation dashboard. We had 41 new violations this month. A total of 103 violations were spied out, 138 remain open, majority in maintenance and no permits. So we are wrapping that up. And as mentioned about the leaves on the road, we are asking people, this is a safety issue, especially if you're gonna rake them all up to the road. We are issuing violations on that. So if we see leaves on the road and it is a safety issue, we will be issuing violations. So please, if you can, rake them up, put them in bags, we'll pick up the bags. Work orders for November, 59 new work orders, 77 closed, 111 open. Majority open, drainage 55. So we are trying to get them resolved. And for any questions, concern, email info@oceanpines.org.
Thank you, Linda. Turn page. Okay, so we do not have the actuals finished, but this is the flash. If anybody's been following, when I come in with a flash, it pretty much is spot on with the actuals, which will probably be out there on Monday. It's more right now filling out all the schedules and getting all the detail and some sign offs. But here's the thing. So we look at the month of November, we look at it as far as the flash. And for the month of November, we are favorable by $93,000. When you look at it, we break it out, which we're supposed to do. When you look at the revenue, the budget for the month was around 290, and we came in at 358. Expenses, 1,117 budget. We came in under budget on the expenses. We don't, I just want to point out, and I've been pointing it out for 5 years, we don't cut costs just to cut costs. When you cut costs, just to cut costs, there's a cost to that somewhere along the lines. These are expenses where we've gotten favorability, we've reallocated resources, and it's been positive to us. We've been successful with the 5 years. In the next 5-year plan, I believe we will be also, and that's a big call right now to say that. You'll see when we do the budget. Turn the page. So where are we overall? So that the 137,000 broken out. Let me just check. So the 137,000 is for the month. I'm sorry on that 93. I'm not sure what that was in there. Can you just go back on the 93? All right, so the favorability for the year, for the month is 137,000. I don't know where I I don't know what happened there. So apologies on that. Let's go to the other one. 37,000, the schedule I have in my hand, 37,000. Apologies. And I'm sure he'll have that corrected on Monday. So where's the favorability and what's happening? So it's a couple of things here. One, again, driven by golf ops and maintenance. And when you look at the year to date, and I have the year to date also in front of me, and I've said this, the economic engine driving all this in Ocean Pines is the golf ops and maintenance. Credit to the gentleman next to me and everybody else at golf ops, as well as every other member of every department head. That doesn't mean the other departments are not also generating. They are. I'm just saying golf ops and maintenance, they're the economic engine. They're the ones going forward that I see over the next 3, 4, 5 years will be generating favorability here. Aquatics, we have favorability. It was a good month across the board. The clubhouse grill, yacht club, everybody. So please, I don't want to just walk out here and you say it's golf ops across the board. The police, well, you know, we're rebuilding and we have the right person. I know we have the right person in place. And we will rebuild over the next 2 or 3 years. We are doing a lot in there. So we do have some favorability. We do have to budget. We are budgeting to make sure that we get to a full staff, and hopefully we do.
John, quick question. Police, is that mostly a function of open positions and maybe benefits and stuff?
Yeah, when you deal with the police and any type of support with that, if I have favorability here, you're right. It's pretty much going to be somewhere on the expense side.
Okay.
We do have the open positions there. One thing I have to say and point out, is Chief still here somewhere? Is, you know, and credit, and again, you can credit. So there is grant writing coming out of there, generating again, which has given us favorability. We are looking at it going forward. But when I was here in 2017, I saw grant writing. I saw we were bringing in grants. Compliments to Chief. He has reinvigorated that. I don't know if you want to say anything on it, but I appreciate that. Go ahead. Yeah. So we are getting favorability. Go ahead.
Grants make the world go round.
So yeah, that would be another meeting. Thank you. But we are looking to put them in the next budget.
Yep.
So what you're trying to say is, while we're in a cash burn situation at this time of year, we're doing really well.
Thank you, Steve. Stuart. Stuart nailed it. All right. So you can't put in one sentence. Correct. I am coming forward, asking for a lot of cash, and you're right. It's all going to be covered. It will be covered with the next budget and everything. Yes. Stuart, what's that? Let it be written, let it be said. Thank you. All right. That's good. All right. I got anything. That's it.
Good. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Next up is Treasurer's Report. Monica.
Hi. As of November 30th, the association had approximately 16.8 million in cash. Cash increased 0.8 million from the same period last year. Cash decreased 600,000 from October 2023. We have 11.3 million invested in CDARS. We recognize $50,000 in interest income. Of the remaining 5.5 million is insured sweep accounts, treasury bills, money market, and other operating accounts diversified between 2 banks.
Appreciate it. Next up, we got public comments. Members wishing to make public comments must state their name and address. So those who have comments, yes. Over here, Dutch.
I'm one of those things were Lord God. I have spoken to a couple of people of you before the meeting about the electric signs. My impression was that you are almost gonna put a pole of 15 feet high with a big sign. You understand what I mean? That was my problem. But you all told me what signs it's gonna be, and I think so, yes. That's a good idea. And I'm living here 32 years, and I have seen a lot of crazy things. I know Eleanor's father was president and Tom Sotolo, and that was one of the last good people we had in the board till up last year on the park leadership and you guys. I'm very happy what happened. I ride my bike up and down the parkway, and I can tell you, from all the years, I had one time a problem with a person. We got a nice bike path. There's nothing wrong with that bike path. We stay off the road, but sometimes we have to go. So, and you don't get a little bit nervous. But anyway, I ride a lot around there. And last week in the evening, I rode around Ocean Pine, and you see all these houses with the Christmas light, the South Gate, the North Gate. That makes a very good impression. I like that. And then I have to say, when the public work and general manager changed the bridge, and the people say, you know, Dutch, you cannot complain. He said the general manager put tulips in it from Harvard. You know, but anyway, it's like I say, I was in the impression that a big sign. I like Ocean Pine the way it is. It was always a very nice community. You know, we had a little a sociable life over here. What is good, we got less crime, and it's pretty safe to live in Ocean Pine. But it's like I say, I was a little bit upset about the big signs. You know, we got 3 newspapers, and we get every month or 2 months, we get a magazine from Ocean Pine. And there is a lot written in what goes on. Exactly the progress from Mr. Strauss, I think is one of the best papers in Ocean Pine. So we learn a lot what goes on, and that was my impression. Why did we want to put a big pole up with a big sign? That was my impression, but lucky, you people told me that's different. And for the rest, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, and you are a good board. Last year we had a good board, and this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Please come forward.
Colette Horn, 35 Sundial. Happy holidays, and thanks for your service. I have a couple of questions about the spending requests. On the Tiki Bar, that was put in service in 2015 with a 40-year useful life. And it looks like you're putting an addition onto that. Is that going to affect the useful life of the whole thing? Is this a rebuild, or is it just adding a piece onto it? The other question I have about that is, what is that going to gain us in the way of bartender rails and registers to help service the community or service the customers better? And then what is your projected impact on net revenue by making this addition to the Tiki Bar? And then as far as the electronic signs go, you know, I agree with what Dutch said. I think what you have planned is going to fit into the community very nicely. It's going to be attractive, and it's going to meet the safety concerns and the communication efficiency concerns that I had when I was on the board. The one question I have is, I didn't see any estimate of Wi-Fi costs associated with that. And so when you're discussing that, if that question could be answered. Thank you. and happy holidays to all of you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yes, thank you, Rick.
Good job.
Yeah, Rick, okay, so Colette, that all very good questions, spot on. Rick has given me the
Right.
opportunity to respond. There was a lot of questions. Hopefully I got it all. Let's talk on the Tiki Bar. So we have the sketch there on the left. You're right. It's an enhancement. It's additional. I think it's around 240 square feet tied into the original Tiki Bar. The 40-year life will still be the 40-year life. We saw plumbing, electrical that needs to be done in the original piece, which we will enhance and take care of now, which certainly will extend the life on certain things there. So that, I believe, answers that question. Yes, it's to enhance customer service, sales, revenue that we believe we've lost because we're not able to meet that demand during the time when it's really busy. So it's not like we think we're going to bring in more people from the outside. We're going to be able to deliver service to the customers we have. Matt Ort, his team agrees with that. So that's what that is. As far as where you sit with like rail service to the bar, so you have 20 feet additional. So that on both sides, that when you look on the additional side, that will service the pool area where you'll be able to go up from the pool, as well as from the patio side. Yes, there will be increased bartenders there, and there will be some increase in equipment as far as ice machines and stuff like that. We'll keep the same beer taps. Did I answer it? Did I miss anything on that? So the useful life in 40 years is a pretty extended useful life. So it still would be the same. And the same thing with the new piece. I went back, I had Steve pull for me how much we paid back in whatever year you said. It was around 2015, you're right. We're basically coming in under that, what they paid back then. as far as cost. Yeah, maybe a little, if you had everything else in 280, very good. Yeah, so I did check that, as we always do. We're gonna come in with this around 190 something between that hybrid of Public Works and our outside contractor that works with us, and then some equipment for, which I didn't include in there, some equipment, I don't know, $5,000 from that one.
And so the useful life of the whole thing will now be 40 years from completion of the.
So in general, it'll be 40 years, but let's say the roof, if we already did 7 years on that original roof, but it is the 10, so it probably will last. But we'll look at that, but I'm getting kind of granular there. But yeah, it's 40 years. Yeah.
Thank you, Claire. Yes.
Good morning, my name's Don Boger. I live at 52 Clubhouse Drive. I'm here today to represent my my company, and I wanted to talk about a little bit of something that happens in Ocean Pines every year. And I'm glad Deb's here in the back because this is important. So my company is Home Instead. We provide non-medical home care to seniors in their home. And if most of you are aware, every year we do a thing called Be a Santa to a Senior, where we get people's names, and it's seniors that need things that they don't have. We ask them what they would like, and believe me, most of the time they'll ask for blankets and socks, and they're not asking for TVs and things that we want for Christmas. It's this things that we take for granted.
Right.
And then throughout Worcester, Wycomico, and Somerset County, we have trees set up, and people come and get these tags. They get they buy the presents, they bring them back, wrap, and then our company gets them out to these seniors. The reason why I'm speaking about that to you today is, number one, it's already done and over with, right, Deb? It's hard to because Christmas is next week, so if we don't have the gifts in by now, we're in trouble. But the reason why I'm bringing it to the board is year after, we've done it for 9 years now, and year after year after year, Ocean Pines, the tree that's in the community center, is the most popular tree out of Worcester, Wycomico, and Somerset County.
Awesome.
Ocean Pines crushes it. This year, we're going to give out over 920 gifts to seniors, and about 200 some of those are coming from Ocean Pines. And we have them all over the place, folks. We have them at Salisbury University. We have them at Piedmont Airlines. We have them at the baseball stadium. I mean, they're all over the place. And little community center in Ocean Pines is the most popular tree year in and year out. So I'm here as the owner. My wife and I own the company together. It's a pleasure to do the program, but it's a pleasure to work with Deb and her crew over there. The problem is Deb just calls me every day and says, I need more tags, I need more tags, I need more tags. So I wish we could do more. I mean, we only have so many people that can help us get the gifts out, but I just want to commend I just want to get it on record that we appreciate the support that we get from Ocean Pines. And that's why we support Ocean Pines. Like we have a tree at the, in the village there and everything else we do with Ocean Pines, we appreciate it. And again, I want to thank Deb and all the residents of Ocean Pines. It's just a great success. And a lot of it has to do with the Ocean Pines residents. So thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any other public comments?
While they're coming out, Luigi, I missed one question on Colette. So the Wi-Fi cost, the de minimis, it's basically the same for the kids.
Good morning. My name is Laura Pangrath and I live at 2 Harpoon Road. I am here today as an individual resident owner. I am also the chairperson for the bylaws and resolutions advisory committee. I am not representing them today because I do not speak upon a group without their permission. So these are my input that I would like to share with you. And I apologize if my phone goes off because I am also working as an on-call chaplain today, but right now I am an Ocean Pines resident. We have a couple of questions on our upcoming business here. You have a second reading for M04. Our committee spends a lot of time going over all of these documents to make sure that they match, don't go against anything in the Homeowners Act, you know, all our own bylaws, everything like that. One of the things that we feel would be better and more appreciated from our committee in the sense that when a document is brought up for a first reading, it would be very appreciated if the bylaws committee was given the opportunity to look at that document either prior to the first reading or after the first reading, but definitely before the second reading. For those who are not aware, all these documents need to go through a first reading, then the directors have a second reading, and usually at the second reading, they will conduct a vote whether to accept it or not. We are an advisory group. We're not given the opportunity to share our advice until usually after the fact. We record our meetings every single time. We purposely do that so that our directors, our legal counsel, general manager office, and residents can watch it. And yes, I've always joked that if you have insomnia or whatever, watch on one of our meetings. But our meetings last a minimum of 2 hours, if not longer. The one we just had a week ago on December 8th was 2 hours and 40 minutes. And that video was not posted until Thursday because I noticed it wasn't posted. In particular, our committee, it should be a given that our meetings, as soon as they're done being recorded, and yes, we meet on a Friday, so I would not expect it to be posted until at least Monday, should be there. In order to allow, if there's any email conversations or if council wants to hear what we had a discussion on, it's available. Time-wise, that was not done for between our meeting and this meeting today. So we are recommending that, you know, our meetings get posted quickly and held on file, because there's a lot of stuff that we discuss. We spend way more than just 5 minutes doing, and we don't do anything by email. We do all of it in person on recorded video. And we meet once a month all the time. There are many months in the past that we have met twice a month to be able to get our work done. So we have some very dedicated committee members. We're very appreciative of our board liaison, Mr. Jacobs. He does an awesome job advocating for our committee and representing us when we have questions and getting that information to the directors. So we are very appreciative of that. One of the things that I think has been missing in some of the conversations that I have been able to see, is that sometimes when we look at these documents, they are very wordy. They are very, and they need to be, but they're not always user friendly, right? If we have all of these documents posted on the website, any resident should be able to go and pull up that item. M04, one of the items in it talks about the length of grass that your grass can grow before Ocean Pines will cite you or, you know, come in to mow and everything like that. That is fine. But what we also needed, and that is why we brought it to, it was brought to our attention after the first reading that it wasn't in that original document, that there needs to be a place where the procedure is noted so that any resident, anybody who pulls up a document doesn't have to go, okay, I read this, but now I'm going to go search 2 or 3 other documents to find out what procedure they need to take before they can come onto our property, right? I mean, because that's a big deal. You know, we don't want to be trespassing on anybody's property, but there's got to be some regulation and everything. So we, but that could have been, we could have looked at that if we had been given an opportunity before the first reading, or if the directors had even said after the first reading, let's have the bylaws committee also look at this. So my request is that we have a goal when we are looking at these things and approving them. Are they user friendly? Because as someone has said to me, you know, you don't have a problem until you have a problem, and then we're in court because somebody says, and the judge says, it wasn't in your documents. So that is our job when we are here, to try to make sure that we don't have to go to court and have a judge ever say to us, we didn't have it in our documents, that it wasn't clear enough for a resident to know exactly what the process is. So, excuse me. And this M04 also does refer to rubbish and trash. We feel so there's some minor wording that should be cleaned up in that. So we are also asking, the committee would prefer to be able to give it another opportunity to look at M04. So it would be appreciated if it would be considered today not to have you a vote on whether or not to approve it without it officially coming to the bylaws committee. Is purely up to you, though. So we do check regularly the website to make sure all the documents that are posted are signed appropriately by all parties, where that on the bottom signature line is, and there are always many that don't have all of the signatures on there. So we need to make sure that we are keeping up with that as well. I'm trying to think. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate the fact that you're willing to have a discussion. But we appreciate the fact that we want to feel that the time we spend going over these things is truly appreciated and worth our effort and time away from our own families and businesses and stuff like that, because we're all volunteers, everybody here, you know, we all give up time to do this. So on that note, I believe I've said everything that I wanted to say this time around. But I'm sure you'll see me again in January, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Dave Tanner, 65 Skyline Court. Just kudos to the board for an excellent year. It's wonderful to live in an association now where things are running smoothly, no legal costs like we've been having in the past, which I'm sure has really helped our bottom line too. And things are really going well. One thing I'd just like to comment on,
is that I see that the golf irrigation system is on the agenda to talk about later. I don't know whether a decision has been made in terms of, I haven't heard anything about the amount, but I'm sure it's from past discussions when it's come up. It's looked to be in the area of $3 million. Clearly, our bylaws say that anything over $1 million has to go to referendum. That's the spirit of it. And the association members petitioned and everything. We went through the whole legal mess with that before with the golf clubhouse here. So I'm hoping that the board's going to do the right thing on that, take it to referendum. Minimal cost to do that, obviously, if we do it when we do the election. And I'm not for or against the sprinkler system. I just don't want to see a lot of legal costs go into fighting this thing again in court. Let's do the right thing on that, as we have with a lot of other stuff this year. And we can go ahead on that basis. So kudos to that. Also, kudos to the your comments about the beach club and getting some electronics into that. That is a really good move, and I think we should look at that too for other areas like the parking lot, which we could probably automate, go cashless, bracket center, things like that too. It's the way of the future. So many places are going cashless and using automation. So thank you again for all your work. It's been a great year so far. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Gary
Morning.
Miller, 15 Windward Court. In addition to the different committees I participate in, I'm also on the Atlantic General Hospital Foundation Board. And that unit actually does a lot of fundraising for our local hospital. I just want to remind everybody that one of the biggest fundraisers they have is happening on New Year's Day at the Princess Royal Hotel. It's the Penguin Swim. Basically, you can donate money to a particular team or an individual that's going to go jump in the water on New Year's Day. And all you need to do is go to the AGH Penguin Swim website. And I would also encourage people to come on out. All you got to do is get your feet wet. And it's a great way to start the year, and it's for a really good cause. So if anybody is interested, we'll be there jumping in the water at noon. Come on down and watch, cheer us on, and donate some money. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
I'm Cindy Hoffman, 23 Water Green Lane. I just want to thank Tim Robinson, Chief Tim Robinson, for doing the speed monitoring on Clubhouse Road. It really did help with slowing traffic down. Of course, now that they're gone, traffic is picking up again. So I would ask again for signs on that road. Chief and I have talked about it a little bit, and I think it would really help with just reminding people that that road is not a 35-mile-an-hour speed zone.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Patty Stevens. I live at 171 Nottingham Lane here in Ocean Pines. And I'm coming today first to thank the board and the general manager and the staff for the awesome and responsive work. It's not very often that in anything I work with the state and the local government regularly and throughout Worcester County and across the state. And to have come to a meeting as I did last month on, I think, Saturday, November 18th, was that your meeting? And talk about the Ocean Pines Bike and Pedestrian Safety Work Group for the community. And the general manager and the director said, yes, that's a great idea. John assigned staff to it. We met 3 days later on a Monday. And on Thursday, John and Eddie Wells walked the Robin Hood Trail, which was one of the areas that we had identified for improvement. And by Saturday, the low areas and the roof areas were mulched. And there were, the last time I counted, and they keep appearing, I saw 42 directional signs along that trail in both directions. I'm sure you've received positive feedback. I have neighbors stop me. I have people email me. I've had people call me saying, thank you for addressing this. So talk about responsive organization. Awesome, awesome work. And we look forward to continuing to work with the chief, with Eddie Wells, with the community members on the improving things like what Cindy mentioned and what Dutch mentioned in terms of safety on our roads and with our community. The piece of that is so important, and the reason we called it the community work group is because people want to get around within Ocean Pines, but they also want to get around to the places around us, the restaurants, the stores, the drugstores, their doctor's office, wherever they want to be able to get. And the walkability, bikeability of our community is the reason many of us moved here, because we thought that would be the case. And yet, as the traffic and growth has happened, that's become less so with the increased traffic on 589, the increased traffic on the cross streets of Manklin and Cathell. And so the Chamber of Commerce is a key partner in this role. They stood up right away and said, yes, we will help. We will be part of this. We will do outreach to the business community. And they've done that already, to the hospitals, to the people, the organizations that are the members of their group. And so I've had the privilege in my Worcester County work as the chair of working with not just the Ocean Pines Chamber of Commerce, but with the Berlin Chamber of Commerce, the Snow Hill Chamber of Commerce, the Ocean City Chamber of Commerce on things like safety education for J1 students and giving out lights and reflectors. We've worked with the Snow Hill and Berlin Chambers of Commerce on their bike planning, their community-wide bike planning. And I've worked with Worcester County Economic Development and Tourism Office on a grant that we wrote to the state and received $100,000 to do the greenways and trails planning. So I've had the chance to work with all of these different organizations. And what I've observed in that time is that the Chamber of Commerce that we have here is the one that often bridges between the different chambers of commerce. They are the ones that don't just stay in their own neighborhood, but they look for opportunities that develop businesses, that bring in and make referrals to businesses that are needed in our community that we may not have, or importantly, make referrals to those of us. How many of you have ever called the chamber and said, I'm looking for an insurance quote. Could you tell me who I should call? And that office refers not just to businesses here in Ocean Pines, but for example, Avery Hall, which is located in Salisbury. And that's how I was able to get insurance. So they have performed a great support for this community. Not surprisingly, Ocean Pines is the place where businesses as far as Salisbury, Crisfield, Pocomoke, they want to do business here because we have a robust residential and business community. They want to come here and be part of this business community. So I just call out to you that it is a valuable organization. In my personal opinion, and then the work that I've done with them and will continue to do, I don't believe that a name change is going to negatively impact anyone in Ocean Pines, our residents, our businesses, or the work they're doing in our community. They will be known as Worcester County Chamber of Commerce in Ocean Pines, where they will still sit. They support a number of community events that our Ocean Pines residents love and enjoy. And so I think I would encourage the board to consider that this is a valuable, vital organization, will continue to be so and be based here in our community. And I look forward to continuing to work with them on bike and pedestrian safety in our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comment.
Now I'm here for a second reason, and I'm following up on her comment. So my name is Don Boder, 52 Clubhouse. I am a member of I am on the board of directors of the Worcester County Chamber of Commerce in Ocean Pines. And I can confirm that we voted yesterday to make that change to the name. So that is we heard what people had to say, and we understand that we needed to keep Ocean Pines in that name somewhere. So I have another board member here that can also shake her head and confirm that happened. And we agree with her comments. the board, our Chamber of Commerce is the best Chamber of Commerce around, and our intention was to never leave us. That wasn't the point. The point was to continue to do what she said we do, and that is, obviously, we concentrate on Ocean Pines, but we're trying to get more economic development, everything, people to come and use Ocean Pines. So I'm here to officially let this board know that, and we confirmed that yesterday, we did have a board meeting, and it was a good decision. And we actually literally sent out a blast to all of our members yesterday afternoon, I believe. And it's the official name is now Worcester County Chamber of Commerce in Ocean Pines. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Morning.
Good morning.
Karen Kaplan, 32 Chatham Court, also president of the Spec Tennis and Platform Tennis Club down at the Racket Center. First, I want to say thank you to the OPA and to the Garden Club for the beautiful festive holiday decorations. Terrific. Really enhances the area and gives the feeling of the season. Okay. And I have 3 items for the Racket Center today. So this year we have 30 new players at Platform with new memberships this season. And we've also had many pickle and tennis members drop in to play Spec Tennis. It's very popular and people want to try it for whatever reason. And it is taking off. So I'm down there 5 days a week generally. Players of all 3 sports have asked me if there's a 2-sport discounted membership. Currently, there is a single and discounted 3-sport membership offered. A request for the discounted 2-sport membership is documented in the RSAC annual report. So it was discussed by that committee. I believe that this would attract more players to sign up for multiple sports and contribute to the overall Racket Center revenue. And it would additionally promote cross-sport socialization, and that is a positive. So it would both increase customer satisfaction and benefit the association in accordance with the annual amenity marketing plan to support amenity use and membership enrollments as outlined in Resolution M-02. So that's my pitch for the 2-sport membership. Okay, second item. There is a need for a recycling plan at the Racket Center. Currently, there is no recycling going on there. And as you can imagine, when there are hundreds of people there in the warm weather, there are an immense amount of bottles being thrown into the garbage. I did email somebody who was working on the trash contract and mention this. I believe that this is a matter of social responsibility. And that we need as a community to plan for this to happen. Okay, next and last. We've talked a lot about beautification of Ocean Pines. And I want to talk about something that's happening at the Racket Center. It's not exactly happening, it just is. So what I'm showing you here is the view from the new pickleball courts and the platform courts. So they're adjacent or actually across from the Public Works yard. And as you can see on the left side of that picture, that's only about half actually of what we do see. So you can see that we see all of the whatever they have there in the work yard, machines, trucks, debris, piles of whatever. And this is behind the fence of the ballpark. Now, on the right side of that photo, you'll see there's a fence, and there are blue slats in the fence. And that goes across almost double what you see there. And then on the left side of that continues the blue slats. So my request to you is, can we please fill that rest of that in with the blue slats so that we don't have to look at that? It's really not very nice to have new people come over and, you know, this is what we see. So we're talking about beautification. I hope that we can make that happen. And that's it. I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday and say thank you for everything that you all do. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you
We
so much.
appreciate it at the rec.
Thank you so much. Any other public comments?
Amy Pack 109 White Horse Drive. I'm going to back up with what Karen said about recycling. I'm requesting that if the new trash pickup, new contract, if these 5 events, if they would be paper bag events of picking up the leaves, and if those leaves would be recycled. My question is, will this new service then replace what Public Works is doing, picking up the bags, and will that be a cost savings? And my other question regarding that is there going to be any cost for the Public Work stickers next year to use the Public Works for residents? Right now, the stickers are free. If that's going to be a cost. And my third question is with the Beach Club monitoring card system. We tried that in the past and it failed. I want to know if there's going to be some way that public guests, including guests who use the restaurant and non-residents, are going to have access to the bathrooms and what that system would look like. Thanks.
Any other comments? I'm gonna go ahead and close the floor for public comments. Next is capital requests.
Okay. Sorry, I got Okay, so requesting authorization to go forward with staff recommendation of $934,000 for the Irrigation Services, Inc. This is for, we have it all sketched out. This is for the pump stations which need to be replaced, no different than anywhere else if I was replacing air conditioners or anything else. So that's the main piece of this, as well as 1-9 and the driving range. The driving range apparently was done years ago. It certainly didn't meet standards that we thought and expected to be there. So $934,000.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a motion to approve the cost of the irrigation system of $934,000. With the system was recommended by staff and with the vendor that's worked in the past, and this is the lowest bidder for this particular project. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
When we looking to start?
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
Dave. Hold on.
John, if I may, the bid request that was submitted list, and I'm assuming this is a breakout, but it lists, it's like 6 different title options. Toro base bid, Toro add option, Toro add. Can you explain what that is? Just
So I'm gonna give a shot now. I think I know what your question is, and it's a good question. So there's 3 pieces to this. The installation, which we have the 3 different contractors given bids on, and then the one that we recommended was the lowest. There were 2 other pieces, the pump station material, which we'll be reaching out and getting. So we left that at the same price in each one, as well as the building renovation, where it will kind of be a hybrid of who works on that. So if that was your question, where you came up with the, hopefully I answered. If not, if you could just be a little more clarified.
maybe you did, and I just didn't grab it, but there are in the submission from irrigation systems. Maybe.
So you're looking at this, right? So you're looking at part 3, the bid form. I understand because there's a lot of numbers there. Justin will, he wants to answer.
Yeah, so you're seeing the options for Toro and Rainbird. That's the 2 main component systems. So it's just the materials. So we priced like every aspect of it out. So there's 2 main vendors for the actual irrigation head in the ground, and they make different products. So we looked at both options just for cost-wise project there. But yeah, basically it's the materials for the project. There are a couple companies as well looked in for that part.
So just that, okay, so there's a difference between the 3 that are listed as Toro and the 3 that are listed as Rainbird. I mean, it's not cumulative, it's those 3 versus those 3, is that?
Yeah, it's 2 different. There were some options off because of the sections we're doing. we did a couple extra like pricing options, looking at where we would end up on the property.
Okay.
Yeah, with what holes we were doing, because we'll be tying into some of the existing old system throughout. So the other options on there were just different holes or different locations that we were looking at renovating. We're not doing all those holes. Yeah, we are just looking at the pump station, 1 and the driving range, but the options for 2 and 3 and 19, yeah.
Okay, so, if I'm understanding this correctly, the 3 that are listed as Toro, base bid, add option would add up to someplace around 930, I'm sorry, not including the pump station and the building renovation. And then the Rainbird is a different option because it's different equipment. Okay, so my next question is, do we know which one is going to be done? Nothing, I'm just sort of curious.
Yes, we were looking at Toro as the best price.
Toro's
So that's
okay.
the direction you're looking at.
Okay. All right, thank
That's
you,
the number.
thank you.
Any other questions? So once again, all in favor? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When are we looking to start?
Yeah, and thank you, Stuart. So with this, we're gonna work on the contract. In January, February, I hope to have the contract, which will go through legal, and I've already spoken to legal on this. January, February, we're looking at the bulk of the work to be done between November 2024 and March 2025, right?
Yeah.
Which would have minimal disruption to the course. If we can do work before that, we will. But we're gonna be starting on the contract as soon as we leave here Monday.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Once again, all in favor of the cost and spend of $934,000, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you. Electronic signs, requesting authorization to go forward with staff recommendation of $22,118 for the vendor Phillips signs. This is the sign to the north gate that would be placed into the wooden frame that's there. Question?
So with that, do I get a motion to approve the cost of $22,118.06 to Phillips Signs for signs that is recommended from the staff? In November, did the site and demo survey on this, and this vendor did meet with the communications committee. So do I have a motion? Motion approved. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? I'm sorry, Steve.
I don't have a problem with the signs. I actually like the idea of having a sign in there, but I'm a little concerned that, as was discussed at the last meeting, we're looking at, I guess, about 4 all told, or maybe one more than that, but 3 or 4 or 5 electronic signs throughout Ocean County. The initial cost is always, the one sign on the north entrance was always about $22,000. If all the other signs are at the same cost, we're looking at $120,000 for a bunch of signs. And I understand there's a little bit of an offset when we take the old signs out and we free up labor and personnel from having to change the lettering and all that. I understand all of that. My question is, we're only approving the one sign now. I assume that's correct. And then the other question is, assuming we use the same contractor, can we insist as best as possible to get some sort of quantity discount? I mean, if that's the direction we're going to go in, and I suspect that is, I think there's a need for us to make it clear we need to drop the cost down as best we can. I understand there's some incremental savings because we're changing duties and performance for staff. I get all that. But the fact that, candidly, $110,000, $120,000 for 5 signs is a lot of money. I'll vote for this, but I do think we have to find a way to drive that cost down to some degree.
And I'll, respond to that. I don't disagree. I think that, after we put in the one sign and the community sees what they're really actually about, because I'm not sure everybody understands it, that when we do go, John is a master at negotiations, that I think he'll probably be able to hopefully get us a discount for multi if we decide to go forward with the rest of the project.
Any other discussion?
Do you want me to answer?
John, good.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
So a couple things. First of all, good questions. Steve, I was only tasked to do the one, which I did. As far as the other ones, anytime, I call it economies of scale, which everybody else does, we definitely look at that. This is a very good price compared to everybody else. So it's already a very good price. Obviously, in any type of situation, if I am or we are looking to buy more, we would look at it. But, we got a very good price here. You know what I'm saying? So we'll try to get a cheaper price. And I did mention that high level to them. And they said they would work with us. Again, I don't think it would be a major discount. But then again, this technology is coming down. When we first talked about this years and years ago, this number was way higher, but a lot of different things. So we'll need to keep that in mind. If we go forward, or if this board goes forward, it instructs me, and I will march on 4 or 5 more signs. If the signs stay in the same place where we're at, we have the electric. If we move the signs, then I'm gonna have a bigger cost for the electric. Right now I have minimal. Same thing with the Wi-Fi. So just to keep that out there. That's the best I have on this. Let's get this, lessons learned from it. Let's get feedback and then go from there. But that's up to the board. Hopefully I answered your question.
Okay, once again, all in favor for a spending of $22,118.06 with the contractor, Philip sign. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next up, Yacht Club Tiki Bar expansion.
Tiki bar. Kind of tiki bar. Okay, so requesting authorization to go forward with staff recommendation of $197,500 with the Whalen Company. Whalen has done this building as well as many other projects with us. They will be doing the outside wherever work. And we've identified some that we would be doing as a hybrid. 7,500.
And we get a motion to approve the expansion of the Tiki Bar for $197,500 to work be performed by recommended contractor services that is in combination with the OPA team and construction by the Whalen Company. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor of the spend of $197,500 for the expansion of the Yacht Club Tiki Bar, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
I just had a question for John.
All right, go ahead.
Well, it's before, Memorial Day.
That is what I spoke to with the contractor with. We should be able to get the permits. We've already done that legwork. We get the permits in the next month and a half. We should be weather permitting, yes. That's the plan. He understands that. We understand that.
Okay.
And this is a priority to get this for Memorial Day. If not, we have Plan B with Matt. I'll tell him what Plan B is when the time comes. So if I can, and I know usually Doug, so Stephen, I know you asked about costing all that. The first bid we received on this was $300,000. What we did is we picked it apart like we always do on the Tiki Bar. We are able to, we'll go out there and we'll source and we'll buy the shutters and different things. And we've got a big decrease in that cost down to $197,500. So we do that kind of stuff.
Thanks, John. Okay. Next up is the Racket Center renovation.
Center renovations, request authorization to go forward with staff recommendation of $140,000 for the Whalen Company to do the renovation, replacement, increase in the restrooms, the pro shop, the pros office, and some interior storage, all recommended from those committees down there. Again, we coupled all this with Whalen to get a better price.
Gotcha. So with that, do I have a motion to approve $140,000 for the renovation of the Racket Center with the pro shop, the interior, the storage, and the director's office, work performed by the team recommended contractor, Willing Services. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of spending $140,000 on the renovation of the Racket Center, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes. Next up, the Veterans Memorial, the gazebo.
Okay, Veterans Memorial Gazebo, requesting authorization to go forward with staff recommendation of $50,000 for the Whalen Company to build a gazebo shade structure similar to the one that we have in White West Park.
Okay, once again, do I have a motion to approve $50,000 input from the Ocean Pines Association that's going to be matched by the Veterans Memorial Foundation for the cost of building the gazebo? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Any discussion?
You're looking at the max that we're contributing is 50,000?
50,000, we're one half of what the cost of the construction of that, of what the Veterans Memorial Foundation.
Not to exceed 50, right?
Correct.
Or not to exceed.
Yes. The motion to approve, say aye. Sure, go ahead.
Just one question, it's just timing more than anything else. The cost is split 50/50. Do we know that the foundation has the money or has moved the money, or do we break ground before we get the money? I'm just sort of curious. I'm not opposed to this. I just want to make sure I know what's going on.
I was being a director on that foundation. They do have the money to do so.
Okay.
They've already pushed it over towards John that they approved to move forward on the spend on the 50,000. And with that, the motion does pass on that.
Richard will be with Ocean Park.
Gotcha. All right. Next, CPI violations. We have none. Oh, we have trash. Okay, I didn't see that on the trash part. All right, one more item is going to be for the trash service for Ocean Pines, for Republic trash service. For the cost on that, it's recommended by staff. It's reliable companies currently that we're using right now. With that, is there anything else, John, you want to discuss about Republic on that?
We're coming forward with Republic for a 3-year contract. We have Republic now. I believe we've had success with them. The feedback I've received or lack of issues, they were not necessarily the lowest bidder, but pretty close. They're a proven contractor, and that's the recommendation on that. As far as where we are today, I think there is an increase. It's around 6-7% coming out. There really isn't any benefit if somebody is looking to go once a week versus twice a week. That there's really, it's maybe $1 cheaper. Their costs are pretty much in line. They are going to be using an electronic arm for efficiencies. We've seen it, and they're telling us there'll be no change in service, which we've witnessed. So recommending Republic, 3-year contract.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have
Hold
one
on.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And it would be an exclusive to Republic.
Yeah, I do have one question, because I noticed that they're gonna go with the replacing the trash cans that are automatically lifted and what happens with folks who put out their trash in bags? Because there are a number of them, some of our part-time property owners, because they may not have somebody to move their receptacle.
So obviously, the most efficient way is to use the canisters that they're putting out. And by the way, they will be putting out new canisters. We don't pay for them. What you're asking here is let's use me as an example. If I don't follow, again, we seem to get these kind of questions. If we don't follow it, do it, what Republic told us was they would still be it would still be the same as today. So if they're picking them up today and you're seeing that, because I know there's a lot of times, and I've gotten this question from others, somebody puts out an ironing board is the example I keep getting something, they pick it up, they will still do that. But it's like anything else, in the sense of if we don't follow the simple guidelines, and they do have to do that, obviously they're gonna have more cost. And then obviously the next time they're gonna be looking for increases. I'm just saying, I get these type of questions all the time here, and it's fine, I get it. But, you know, if we follow it, we will be able to get better costs. If we don't follow it, but the answer to your question is yes, they will pick it up.
Any question? Steve?
Yeah, thanks. John, a couple of questions. The new canisters that would be picked up by the electric arm or whatever on the side of the truck. Is that just for the recycling or is that for trash as well as recycling?
So the trash, the one I've heard about, I think it's 60 gallons now. Linda helped me out. It's 60 gallons now, and I think it's going to 90. 75, Linda says 75. They're gonna be bigger. So that's for the trash. For the recycles, I didn't hear anything about a new or different size.
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking is, my recollection is, we had the option of getting a trash canister from Republic or buying one. We ended up buying one. So I'm assuming the size may be a little different, but best of my knowledge, that's never presented a problem in terms of picking the trash up. And so are we all going to get new canisters? Are we all going to get charged for them as homeowners? Or can we go into the hardware store and buy one? I'm just sort of curious.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought, no, it's a good question. If you sign up, you're gonna get a new trash canister regardless if you were using your own or you bought it from them.
Okay.
You're not gonna pay a separate price for it. No, they're gonna give them out. If you sign up for trash, you're gonna get this. She says it's 75 gallon. I know it's bigger.
Okay.
You're gonna get the 75 gallon canister.
Second question, if I can, and I sort of understand the breakout on the residential removal grid that's here. Republic offers a certainly competitive, maybe even a better deal when you add in the recycling cost. What I'm trying to grasp is on Republic, there's two lines, one in black, one in red. It says pricing adjusted 5% annually, pricing adjusted 3% annually. Those figures, I'm trying to determine, is that the pricing that will run for the length of the contract, or are we saying this is the pricing for the first year? And then it's either going to go up 5% or 3% from that number.
Right. So the ones that's in black, it could go up 5% a year. The red, that's what it is today. Today, it could go up 3%. In the new contract, they would have the ability to increase the price by 5%. Yes,
Every year.
possible.
And what's the length of the contract?
3 years.
So we're saying that the Republic
let's just-
Services charge of $27.50, use that as an example, for two times a week for trash pickup could go up another 15% over the length of the contract.
Possible.
Okay, so that would be $275,
$4.
about $4, yeah.
$4 in 3 years. That's a correct statement. I guess they don't have the same GM.
I'm sorry.
I just reeled you in on that, Steve. I guess they don't have a manager that lowers cost. Believe it or not, there's a lot of inflation out there. If you listen to CNBC, everything is going up, salaries are going up. I gotta be honest with you, 5%, I'm paying it. I'm paying that trash thing. I don't think it's a bad deal.
Yeah.
And they do a good job.
With that, any other discussion? With that, again, a motion to approve the costs and also with the new contract and continue the service with Republic Services. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next is CPI violations. We have none. Unfinished business, we have none.
On the CPI violations, I'm sorry, can I just make a comment on that?
Hold on. let's come through here. Okay. As far as for new business, we have a second reading of the revision of resolution M04, maintenance of loss by Lane Brady.
Yes, we're asking for, MO4 has been, reviewed and revised, by council. It did go by the bylaw committee and he did take some of the notations into, account as those revisions were done. So I'd like us to get the second reading, in place this time with his red line changes. You'll see both in your packet, the red line and the plain copy.
Okay, so with that, I have a motion to approve resolution M04 as presented with recommendations by council as well as the resolution bylaw committee on that. So do I get a motion?
I have make one comment.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to take this opportunity with this resolution to thank our advisory committees because as Patty and Laura and Susan have pointed out, you know, they do a lot of work and MO4 is small in length. It's narrow in its scope, but truly a lot of work went into getting this to the words where it needed to be and to put us in alignment with our bylaws and our DRs. They truly do a lot of work. So I wanted to just thank all of our committees. They truly are valuable to us and they provide a lot of good input. So let's.
Once again, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? Steve?
Yeah, thanks. I'll take the blame for sort of slowing this down a little bit. There's a couple of points I want to make. One is I want to reiterate, as I had said in an earlier email to the board and that Laura has stated this morning, that it should be the practice and procedure of the board that any resolution after first reading should go to the bylaws committee. That's why the bylaws advisory committee exists. This matter, M04, was on the bylaws committee agenda only because one of the bylaws committee members asked for it to be added when the committee met. And I would go so far as to say that if the board were to indicate to the committee that consideration of changes in the resolutions or the bylaws is a time-sensitive matter, I'm fairly confident that the bylaws committee would meet in special session in order to, and following all their normal procedures, to address the need for expeditious consideration by the committee. The other point I would make is the bylaws committee raised a couple of objections to B04 in its drafting in at the time of the first reading. What it really came down to was the fact that M04, nowhere in the text, although the cover sheet said the purpose of the change was to align it with amended M01. Nowhere in the text did it say so, and that became sort of the nut we had to deal with in the various emails that flew back and forth among the board members. I am satisfied that M04 addresses that. The other issue that I think may still be out there, and I admit I don't have an answer for this at the moment, is I had been told, and I think this is accurate, that there was a case in Worcester County Circuit Court where Ocean Pines was the defendant dealing with the issue of debris on a homeowner's lot. And this goes back as one man's trash is another man's treasure. Or if you prefer, one person's trash is another person's treasure. And when raised with counsel, and Bruce is not here, but I mean, he's not familiar with the case. That may or may not come up again. I don't know. But I think, and Elaine and I have talked about this privately, I think if the impetus for addressing debris on somebody's property is because of the concern with vermin and varmints. As a health matter, I think we would have sufficient justification for acting. But there's other debris that may well be somebody's thought position that it's art. That may or may not need to be clarified. I don't know. At some point, the bylaws committee may want to take a crack at it. I don't know. But I am satisfied that we have met the challenge from the first reading in this version to align M04 with M01. And for that reason, I think we should approve it.
Thanks, Steve. Any other discussion?
And maybe
Elaine,
this will
go
be the
ahead.
point I'll make too, because Steve and I have talked back and forth, and the debris thing is always the toughest issue, and that really can get addressed later. The concern for passing this, especially today, is that we've been out of compliance with the HOA Act for over a year. And I know that, we are really ramping up, and, I want to thank Linda and her team, CPI. They're really out there looking at the neighborhoods and, getting the violations. I think people have seen them escalate. But I think the community is also seeing that board actions haven't come before them yet. And it's simply because we had to start the whole process over. And so the longer we sit on these things, the longer it's going to take to get the cases back into the courts, that sort of thing. First and second letters that follow the HOA Act are in place. These are going to be in place. We can move forward and we've been really expediting this. There's been a lot of work behind the scenes, but I did want to make sure that folks know that CPI is really working hard on this. The board has worked hard on this to get us in line with the HOA Act, which went into effect over a year ago. And so it's imperative that we get this done so we can move forward in the way that we're supposed to be. So
Okay.
that's my pitch for saying yay.
Okay. Any other discussion? So once again, all in favor for approving the resolution M04 as presented with recommendations by Bylaw Resolutions Committee, as well as council, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? And the motion passes. Next, we're going to have a discussion of easement Lane Brady. I believe you wanted to table that
Yeah, table that, we'll actually do an information sheet with staff.
information sheet. Okay, gotcha. Next up is appointments. We have Robert Kiesling for Chair of the Strategic Planning. We have Linda Hershey for the Chair of Communications. As far as accepting all these appointments, I would assume all in favor of these appointments with a motion to approve. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Appointments pass with that. And do I have a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Of second? We are.
You didn't say anybody, no.
Adjourned.
Thank you.